What's going on, everybody? It's Nick back with another custom diecast review. Today we have this 2025 Brandon Jones Spectracide truck. As always, I hope you all are having a great day. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. Alright, so hopping right into the diecast. This is, like I said, Brandon Jones 2025 Spectracide truck. He ran this at Pocono. He ran a couple of races with Tricon last year. He had that pretty popular University of Arkansas truck, as well as a couple others. But this one specifically, like I said, he ran at Pocono. So yeah, let's hop right into it. Right there on the side, you got the Goodyear logo above the front tire, as always. You got all the Truck Series contingency sponsors there on the side. You know, Craftsman Truck Series, NASCAR Race Car, the Holley EFI, all of those. You know, all of those specific contingencies there on the side that are kind of synonymous with the Truck Series. You got the Tricon number 1 right there. You know, this year they kind of ran it as like an open truck. All sorts of drivers kind of came and went through it throughout the season. Down here on the lower, kind of near the rear tire, you got a whole bunch of other kind of associate sponsors here. There are quite a few down there. Pretty hard to read, they're pretty small. Obviously you got TRD Pro down there on the bottom. You know, obviously Brandon Jones having Menards and all of the companies that are kind of under that banner, I think that kind of carries over some weight as well. Up here on the B pillar, you got Toyota, you got Sirius XM, you've got JBL, got another pretty small one. The camera would focus, which it doesn't want to. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. You got Menards, another, boy, that thing does not want to focus. Anywho, you know, a whole bunch of sponsors there on the B post. You got Brandon Jones on the name rail there. A really nice color scheme here. The orange, the green, and the black. It really all flows really well. Obviously following that like Spectracide, you know, kind of colorway they got going on. And obviously you got Spectracide here on the rear quarter here, as well as Menards. The Sirius XM logo was here, kind of got taken off just a bit. You got the gas inlet right there. And then moving our way onto the back, you got the tail lights, obviously the Tundra tail lights. Spectracide, you hold the power, take out all those bugs and whatever you got going on. Yeah, and then on the back here on the other side, you know, same thing. Spectracide, Menards, these green stripes really look nice. It kind of, I almost say they kind of blossom up here from the front fender and kind of flow all the way back, as well as with the orange. All the other associate sponsors, got all the associate sponsors there on the bottom. The number 1, Brandon Jones, Truck Series contingency logos, the Goodyear logo. And then hopping onto the front here, you obviously have the Toyota Tundra front end. You got Sunoco here at the bottom, like you see on pretty much every car that runs throughout the series. You know, Truck Series, Xfinity Series, well, now O'Reilly Series. It's gonna take some getting used to, and obviously the Cup Series. Then you got this green that kind of follows the pattern here that they kind of have created. Spectracide, you hold the power here on the hood. The Craftsman banner there on the windshield, as well as the windshield details. The big number 1 on the roof here, with a nice orange background. I really like how they kind of added some spice on the roof, you know, not just going with all black. I'm sure the spotter was happy about that as well. Moving on to the back here, you got Toyota, the Toyota logo, and a whole bunch of other logos here. Cutter, Hot Shot, Repel, Liquid Fence, Rejuvenate, anything to keep bugs and bugs, animals, whatever, I guess, away. I believe this is the first Truck Series diecast that I've reviewed on the channel. I really enjoy making these. They're a little bit tricky sometimes with the front end to get them to line up and get everything. That's probably the most difficult part, is just getting the front end to, you know, look good, because it's kind of 3 separate pieces, 3 separate decals to kind of work with. And then the other tricky part about the Truck Series diecast is these, you know, I guess on the real trucks, they're the you know, part of the roll cage, the roll bars that go down onto the rear here. But there are these little tiny plastic pieces on the diecast, and they are kind of tricky to get out sometimes, and they kind of you know, if you're not careful, being a, you know, clear plastic piece, they kind of tend to get lost sometimes. But you know, these are definitely awesome to make, just also with the fact that you don't see a lot of Truck Series diecasts, unfortunately. You know, I know Corey Heim's truck, we're still really waiting on a Gold Series truck for him, you know, that came out in the I think the holiday pack that Lionel released. But just, you know, so many great Truck Series paint schemes that don't get made. So that's what I'm here for. But anyway, it's gonna wrap it up for this one. Let me know how you guys like this diecast down in the comments. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and I will see you guys in the next one.